G'day! In today's video I'm playing Battlefield 2042. This is in mid-December 2022 and most of the settings I've got here on the MSI Delta 15 are on medium and the gameplay itself is quite smooth. So let me finally get into the game. We can see that the 6700M is about 95% utilization. And the processor is quite heavily utilised as well, pulling a fairly high wattage, or decent wattage. My speculation of the FPS dips that do happen is usually I'm leaning towards it's maxing out the RAM. So you can see it's got 2 gig or 16 gig, 2/8, and currently we're using around a bit over 11 gig of RAM. Granted, we're going to have some overhead for the operating system and whatnot, so I feel like if this had 32 gig of RAM in there, the FPS dips would be eliminated. Right now I am playing with some high latency, which kind of sucks, but you get that every now and then, especially when you start streaming Netflix at 4K in another room. But overall I found the game extremely playable. Being that this screen is also a 240Hz panel, smearing wasn't really an issue at all, especially at FPS floating around 100 FPS. So I had no real issue with the overall look of it. It was quite sharp, quite responsive, quite snappy. I found that the performance on this would probably easily outperform something like a 3060, especially when it's got that 10 gig of VRAM. Granted, we're only using about 5.3 gig of that, as you can see. And fan noise I found overall to be quite good. Granted, I am using a pair of Sony Bluetooth headphones. They are also noise cancelling, but considering all the other budget gaming laptops I've tried over the last few years, this has easily been one of the quietest out of the bunch, where the other machines have all been Intel based with 3060s. This one being my first performance Ryzen chip. I do have a 5700U machine, or I had one. That was pretty quiet, pretty powerful, but this here is overall very good. So if you're looking for something to play Battlefield 2042 on, the MSI Delta 15 with the 6700M, the 5800H performs quite well. Granted, myself, I'm probably going to up the RAM to 64 gig of RAM just to make it a bit overkill. But overall, very good experience. Happily playing on it. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
I need a mission.
Enemy trying to take Delta 1.
Move out there to my marker. Give me an order. Cancel that, never mind. Okay, here we go. I go! 260! 60 meters from my position.
Charlie sector has been secured.
Our strategy is working. We now control more sectors than the enemy.
Open vehicle, located! Enemy fire team! Cargo,